Welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful for this program. I've learned so much by implementing it and serving as the project director. For those of you who don't know me or haven't met me yet, I'm Dr. Stephanie Garcia, IDRA STEM education specialist, and I have the great privilege of leading a lot of our regional San Antonio area STEM programming that supports both students and teachers. So I'm super excited to be able to be here with you today. And I have, I think, all my links pulled up now, and I have everything separate. So now I'm going to go ahead and share. Oh, I love that we have so many Tamusa friends in the chat. All right. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Let's see, slideshow. Again, I want this to be more of a dialogue. So what I plan on doing is, especially because some of our teachers have to leave soon, um, I'll share a little and then we'll, have some questions that we can go back and forth on. And then I'll have some folks share. Now, Chrissy, remind me in this format, can participants come off mute and share out?
I believe so. We're going to
Well,
find out.
we're going to find out together. All right. Great. So if you're here today, you're here because you're excited to learn more about our career connected classrooms work. As I was saying, one of the privileges I have at IDRA is to lead some of our STEM programming, and I'm a former middle school science teacher. So I feel like I always need to start with that and lead with that because that really frames my perspective, my approach to teaching. And boy, when I was teaching in San Antonio ISD and I was teaching middle school science, I wish I had an externship. I don't remember hearing about it when I was a classroom teacher. Um, and I really wish I had that experience because I'm telling students about careers, STEM careers, science careers, space, earth science, physics, chemistry. I'm teaching all of these main subjects. And, I personally haven't been in all of those fields in the career. And so I wish I had some more support in how to bring back those career connected learning experiences back into the classroom. And so, this was a fantastic program when I learned about it, and I started digging into research of what makes a good externship program. What are the best practices for teachers, for industry, for those who are facilitating this professional development model? And so each summer, thanks to a grant that we've had from DoD STEM through the Defense STEM Education Consortium grant, we've been able to implement sorry, wrong cursor here. We've been able to implement this grant with a small group of teachers. We have a cohort over the past 4 years, and it's been fabulous because we've been able to really meet these criteria here as being one of the DSAC partners and serving IDRA serving as one of four STEM hubs in the country. We've been able to put together this model, put together this program to really support our local teachers and their students because it's a ripple effect. You serve your teachers, you serve your students. And so we're really excited to see, and I'm excited to share today how the teachers have translated those workplace experiences that they got this summer and created classroom projects and capstone ideas for the next school year. And I'm excited for you to share or hear reflections from the participating educators that are in the room and industry supervisors. So I'm super excited to kind of lay that foundation. And I just want to kind of frame this that again, this is the fourth year, the fourth iteration of this program. And each year I've modified it. The first cohort, we had a field trip model where we visited multiple industries together all at the same time over the course of 2 weeks. And second year, moving forward, I changed the model a bit, and we had teachers staying within one placement for 30 hours. So we're going to talk about the model a little bit, but I want to be sure that you can see how the 10 educators were placed across five different workplace settings that span from civil engineering, cybersecurity, precision manufacturing, product design, engineering, environmental science, and it really positions teacher externships as one strategy for increasing college and career awareness, which is one of our goals as a DSEC hub, is to be a place-based center of excellence for STEM education, to serve as a connector and a bridge to support those school, community, and industry partnerships, right? And to really help bridge youth workforce and and in our community, which is why IDRA, you may have heard of the Alamo STEM ecosystem. IDRA co-leads that ecosystem. This all aligns to our regional strategic plan of supporting and advancing STEM education opportunities for both students and teachers. So I won't be reading from the slides too much, but before we really get started, I'd love for everyone to put in the chat, which we all know how to use now, but for those of you jumping in, please locate the chat button because it'll be a back and forth dialogue, and I will soon ask a couple folks to come off mute and share because I know they've got to get back to their classrooms or get back to their industry. But one opening question I wanted to start with that really helps anchor this discussion is how do we help students imagine themselves in careers they may have never seen? So take a moment, put it in the chat, put your responses. I'd love to see what you're thinking about this too, especially thinking about the future. We're preparing students for a future where there's going to be so much more technological advances, AI, industry changes and shifts. But how do we help students imagine themselves? What does that work look like for us? So go ahead and put it in the chat, just a few responses, and then we'll move forward. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see a lot of ideas popcorning out in the chat. I love it. Project-based learning. Yes, I'm a big, big advocate for project-based learning experiences. Job shadowing, career speakers, all of these embed, right, those real world applications, linking their interests to real world careers they might not be aware of. Yes, we can help students imagine themselves in university by programs like this. Yes, like programs like this, exactly, offering teacher resources within the community, career speakers, classroom connections. Yes, to the real world. Yeah, I love, Angel, that you mentioned the diverse professional and career pathways because when we say STEM, right, let's just pause. That's so broad. So broad. When I say I lead STEM teacher externships, those placements need to be diverse, right? Because we want to be able to cover as many bases as we can. Definitely not all of them, right? But a majority of them, we want to try, especially based off of the regional needs that we have in our San Antonio community, especially, which is where we're located. Awesome. By providing free opportunities. Yes, 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 yes. Fantastic. Absolutely. Yes to all of those, right? Um, and just to solidify, I think a common theme that we saw in the chat just now is externships are the bridge, right? There's a lot of different ways we can approach and tackle that. But externships is a fabulous way of serving as the bridge between the workplace, the educator, the classroom, the student. You're going to see capstone projects where teachers are, producing lesson plans and producing activities that can help facilitate these discussions and help increase career connected learning in their classrooms across many grade levels. I haven't yet said that many of our externs, and we'll meet them soon, many of our externs span from elementary all the way to high school. So it's a really neat experience that isn't just for high school teachers, right? It's also important to bring that down and have that earlier exposure as early as elementary school. So I'm really excited that we've got a couple of our elementary teachers and externs in the room because I think they're going to have a really unique capstone and a unique reflection as well. That's fantastic. Okay. So, something that, you know, we can talk about, but we're going to kind of move forward because I'm looking at the agenda. I want to make sure we cover everything and get as many teachers as we can to share before they have to head back to their classrooms. But, what makes it difficult for students in your community to connect with classroom learning with real careers, right? And that's the purpose of the capstone project is saying, okay, me as the teacher, I'm in an industry, I'm immersed in industry for 30 hours. I'm totally outside my teacher bubble that I call it. And I'm placed in an industry I've never been a part of, maybe only heard of, maybe never heard of it before. And now I can see the aha moments and the connections that I can take back to my classroom and have those real world connections. And so that's the missing piece there is that's super important in externships that aren't always a part of it, but should be, is that teachers should have a takeaway. Yes, that professional development experience was awesome. I was shadowing folks. I was learning from teams and how multidisciplinary teams work together to solve and tackle real problem solving in a real world aspect. And then now what, right? It's that next step of what do I take back to the classroom? So I'm excited to show you. And most of the showcase today is really designed around highlighting our externs, highlighting our industry partners, which we've got a few in the room, and also showing you and giving you a sneak peek at some of the capstone projects. I can't go over all of them. I don't have enough time, but we'll go over some of the capstone projects that teachers created and are taking back into their classroom. So super excited to lead you through that. Um, so again, a lot of this I already shared. I just wanted to recap. Our professional development model is a bit different, where teachers are placed in one industry for their entire experience. And I've seen really great things come from that model. As a researcher, a STEM education researcher, I've been exploring, what are the best ways to strengthen that impact factor, right, for teachers. And I've seen it through this model where they're staying in one industry for 30 hours and they've really became like family. When I would go do site visits at some of our placements, I would see that they had their own cubicle and their names, welcome externs, like at Garver. And there's bulletin boards and the teachers, the externs' names are up there. And they've really just joined the whole community in the workplace. And you don't get that when you're just doing tours, right? And so it's been really fabulous to look at the research, right? And to look at the reflections that have come both from the teachers and the industry partners to really strengthen this model throughout each summer and having different iterative changes throughout has been really fun for me and a really great learning experience. But lastly, I just want to end with this before we meet our externs is, it's about increasing exposure, embedding new experiences that really help translate, right? And make it digestible for our students, right? The teacher experienced some things and the teacher can look back at their students and say, what would be most meaningful for me to bring back to my students to prepare them for this career, to prepare them for this pathway that they're going into. And these are some, a part of this model is some of these three takeaways that I've really jotted down throughout the years is that teachers are learners inside the workplace. It's really fun to see the teachers a little nervous joining a new industry for the first time and feeling it's like their first day on the job and seeing like, whoa, these are the research labs that are here. This is the engineering that's taking place and being fully immersed in a new workplace. But it's really awesome to see the teachers just really light up with excitement and see and really have a lot of aha moments for themselves, and then being able to have those light bulb moments of what their students need. It's just a really fantastic way to kind of witness how teachers are learners inside these workplaces. And industry professionals become partners in education. It's so wonderful to be able to partner with fantastic businesses and local organizations here in San Antonio, Texas. Some of these businesses and industry partners are part of our Alamo STEM ecosystem. They're very well known and very visible in our STEM ecosystem community, and others are just joining. And so it's a really beautiful mix of folks who are doing very different work across our city, but really intensive research. I think it's really neat to be able to say, these are the companies in our backyard. Did you even know that existed? Did you even know this level of research and this level of precision manufacturing and all of the inventions that are happening here in San Antonio, all of the engineering projects that you see, but you don't have that background knowledge of? It's so fantastic to be able to partner with these industry professionals in this unique way. And I think this is a fantastic way to strengthen these community partnerships like no other. But again, the biggest takeaway is who's the ultimate beneficiary? It's the student, right? It's the student. That's the purpose of this externship program, is to see that ripple effect back in the classrooms, back with the students, of how are we preparing them for real world careers and even careers we haven't seen yet. What are these transferable skills, power skills, soft skills, whatever you want to call them? What are the needs of industry that we could bring back into our curriculum and train our students accordingly, right? So it's this really fantastic model that I'm really passionate about, but I don't want to blab anymore. What I'm going to do is exit full screen for a moment, and all of these things and links will be shared after. But I wanted to go ahead and introduce our externs. Now I'm going to try and pull up the participant list on my computer. And as I'm introducing, if I see your name here, what I'm actually going to do is not talk for you. I'm going to have you come off mute, externs in our cohort this summer, and introduce yourself. And I'll leave the notes up here, but you made your bios, you know what to share. So what I'll do is I'll go through the list and I'll go by placement. So I'm not going to go alphabetically here in the participant list. So what we're going to do is start off first with our placement at Garver, which I'm so excited because we have Garver in the room with Marianne. So excited you're here. And at Garver, externs observed civil engineering, planning, and environmental sciences and spent time with each of their business lines. So they learned how to tackle real world problems in our city as it in terms of aviation, engineering, transportation, bridges, water systems, and more. And so in the room, I think we had, let me check, June. June, would you mind coming off mute and just introducing yourself to the crew here?
Can you hear me from here?
Yes, 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 we
Okay,
can hear you.
okay, because I was gonna put the mic on. I just wanted to make sure. So I actually have I'm in class right now with some of my sophomores.
Oh,
So I am showing them the webinar. So I just want to
great.
make sure because I have it on the projector so that you can hear me.
Yeah.
But yes, my name is June Vasquez. I am an entrepreneurship teacher and CTE department coordinator at Insight High School here in Northside ISD. I have been a CTE teacher for, I'm starting my 14th year, 4 years here at Insight. I am a part of the Entrepreneurship Academy. This year I'm teaching sophomores. I've taught freshmen and seniors in the past as well. Variety of different business and technology courses. And yeah, that's pretty much my educational background.
That's fantastic, June. I'm gonna come back to you and have you share it's a few takeaways from your experience. Thank you so much for introducing yourself. Let me see if let's see, Mary Lou. I think she's teaching right now. Mary Lou was also at Garver with June. As you can see, we had a paired up model. So we always wanted teacher besties to go with each other to their placement. And we were really excited to have June paired up with Mary Lou Rodriguez from Southwest High School and Southwest ISD. And she's an algebra teacher with 14 years of experience. She's from the Rio Grande Valley, and she was really excited to also have this industry experience for the first time. She hasn't been a part of any other externship before, so it was really great to have June and Mary Lou partnered together at Garver. Quickly, I'll go through. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, I think Domingo is teaching, and so was Raul, I think. Yeah. So I'll introduce them really quickly. Domingo and Raul were placed at UT San Antonio. They were partnered with the Army Research Lab, the DevCom Army Research Lab, and they work with ARL and with UTSA faculty to develop a cybersecurity curriculum and a community outreach plan to broaden their impact for cybersecurity education. Domingo is from South San Antonio High School. He is a stellar STEM CTE leader in the district. If you're doing anything in South San Antonio, you need to know Domingo. Raul is a newer teacher at KIP, and he was very eager to learn more about the school community partnerships in San Antonio, especially as they revolve around cybersecurity and computer science. I'm going to move on to Cox Manufacturing. I see that we've got our industry partner in the room. Let me see if our two externs yeah, look at that. Maria Luisa, do you want to come off mute and introduce yourself?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
yes. I am Maria Luisa Cárdenas, and I really feel that the whole experience was amazing. It helped me realize how I can tie in all these TEKs that we normally associate with just exams, seeing an actual math test that adults have to take for a job placement, writing skills, all these teamwork skills. It was amazing just being able to see everything. So I am at South San High School. This will be my 23rd year in the district, and I have help with STEAM. Mr. Domingo helped us get going with the drones and all those additional things. So that linear connection, kids are exposed since elementary, middle school, and high schools. So hopefully they're STEAM-driven careers
That's
in the future.
right. What a powerhouse y'all are. Mrs. Cardenas is at Carrillo Elementary, and we have an awesome elementary teacher that we paired her with Raquel Neves. You want to say hi and introduce yourself? We see you, Raquel. We just don't hear you. But you are off mute, it looks like.
Hear me now?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay, sorry, it was the wrong button. All
It's
right, yes,
okay.
hello, my name is Raquel Nieves. I am currently a STEM teacher at Reed Elementary for Northside Independent School District. I service about 800 kids K through fifth. Definitely going into the Cox Manufacturing was a phenomenal experience. It definitely broadened my understanding to how the manufacturing and production and the quality control aspects of design really do impact everyday use things. It was really awesome to see how they made and manufactured things as small as something for like braces to like highly classified designs. That again, when we went, it was just phenomenal to see how much the collaboration and the critical thinking. I know Maria Luisa and I just kept talking about how much like the critical thinking they had to do, a lot of their own problem solving that they had to do, and how we were able to see the foundations that were needed and different parts that kind of everything joined together to make the product, to make the manufacturing, everything kind of come whole piece. It really helped us to see how we could implement that and put that into our classrooms as well.
Fantastic. Yes. and they were at Cox Manufacturing. I actually grew up in that area and never got to see the inside. So I was very privileged to go on a tour at Cox Manufacturing Company and learning more about the entire manufacturing process. Our externs were assigned with the engineering department, and they really saw math and science come to life in the whole precision and manufacturing that was taking place at that placement. Fantastic experience there. Next, we have Elevate Systems, which is such a great company here in San Antonio. I was seeing if they're represented in the room, but externs were exploring SolidWorks, 3D printing, AI tools, and they were placed with the technology department, the engineering department. And there were like 13 or I don't know exactly how many, 15 interns from UTSA there. So it was a really cool experience for our externs to be in community with interns as well as the professional staff there at Elevate Systems. But I think we had Martha and wow, we had Deandra too. Yes, fantastic. Martha, if you want to start us off and say hello, introduce yourself quickly.
Hi.
Hi.
Um, I wasn't sure if I was doing this correctly.
Yeah, you're good.
Um, yes, I'm Martha Rodriguez. I'm over at Southwest High School with Southwest ISD, and I do college and career readiness for the entire campus. So it's great to see what Elevate Systems does and how I can bring that real world experience and life experience to my students and let them know what opportunities there are available here in San Antonio and in particular what Elevate System has to offer.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Deandra, you want to share what you want to introduce yourself? Sorry, introduce yourself to the crew here.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Deandra Whitby. I teach at Karen Wagner High School in Judson ISD. I teach computer science, game programming design, and mobile and web app development.
Thank you so much. Yes. So it was really great to pair up teachers, especially from different districts and different content areas. It was really great to see the collaboration between the externs. So I do want to note that that was definitely a strong part of our model. And I know some of our teachers have to leave, so I'm going to do a quick intro with San Antonio River Authority was another placement we had. Fabulous work happening there in such fantastic environmental science, engineering, cross interdisciplinary connections. It was fantastic to see the work of the staff at Sarah and also learn about what Angel and Mary got to do during their time there. So I see Angel, you're in the room. You want to come off mute and introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Mary if she's here. Angel, you might be teaching, but I don't know. Are you here?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're good.
So hi, my name is Angel Watkins. I work at the JSTEM Academy in Judson ISD, and we're a middle school, but I teach high school principles of applied engineering. So I did spend the week with an engineering team at the San Antonio River Authority, and it was like one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had, because not only did I see that it was the most that engineering team was like mostly women, which was I'm trying to explain that to my students because they have a specific idea in mind whenever I say engineer. But it wasn't just engineers on the engineering team. It was environmental science, city planners, water quality people, and it was just so really awesome that I didn't understand exactly what went involved in like just one small project.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't explain that any better than that. I mean, there was so much happening at Sarah. It was so great to be able to personally go to each of our placements and sit with the faculty, sit with the supervisors, and really learn about what was taking place there, and to just see them welcome, just such a warm welcome for all of our externs at each of our placements. So again, just really want to highlight, you can see all of this again on our website, and go to our externship page. But what I'd like to do next is go into our externship reflections and capstone projects. So something that I'm really excited about is, throughout the externship program, I have teachers in a shared workspace where they can upload photos, reflections, their timesheets, right? Because they're getting 30 hours of CPE hours and credit. So we want to make sure we document that. And we also provide a $1,200 stipend to each of the externs for completing the externship program. But I'm so excited to be able to share these. I won't be able to go through all of them, but before I do, I know we have a few time constraints with some of our teachers. So what I'd like to do is if you are teaching, or have to get back to the classroom, I'm going to have you come off mute and share your reflection, your major takeaway from this externship program while I pull up some of your capstone projects for you. So I believe, Angel, I'm going to actually start with you if you don't mind. If you wouldn't mind coming off mute, or would you like me to share the presentation that you made? What would you like me to do? Share, you want to share out loud, or do you want me to share your video? Okay. Uh-huh.
Could you share the video, please?
Yes, absolutely. Excited to share that.
Hi, I'm Angel Watkins, a seventh grade principal of applied engineering.
Can you hear it, y'all? There
Yes.
was audio. Okay, I was just making sure I clicked share audio. Okay.
Teacher and DLW STEM ambassador at the JSTEM Academy in Judson ISD. This summer, I had the incredible opportunity to participate in the San Antonio River Authority's teacher externship offered through IDRA. My goal wasn't simply to observe professionals, it was to learn how engineers, scientists, planners, and educators work. We lost the sound. During this externship, I was able to see those.
Can you hear it now?
Yes, I got it back.
I can't mute, I guess. Sorry.
Applications firsthand, and now I can bring those authentic experiences to my students. Our externship began in a unique way by participating in the Sarah's new employee orientation alongside newly hired staff. It was a wonderful introduction to the organization's missions, values, and the many ways Sarah serves our community. Our first stop was a wastewater treatment plant where we watched wastewater move through multiple stages of treatment until it became clean and clear and could be safely returned to our local creeks. Seeing the engineering and science behind the process, most people never think about this. Next, we visited Confluence Park, where we learned about wastewater management, water conservation, and how thoughtful design can educate the public while protecting our natural resources. The architecture blended beautifully with the natural landscape, showing that engineering doesn't just solve problems. It can also create space that inspire people to connect with nature. Walking through the native plants and butterfly gardens reminds me that everyday design and decisions have a purpose. The butterfly gardens, native plants, and innovative design showed me that engineering and nature don't have to compete. They can work together. We also stopped at another Sarah Park before traveling to San Pedro Creek, where we saw the trash trap system that helps keep debris out of the San Antonio River. The beautiful artwork, landscape, and historic figures transform this area into a destination that celebrates both San Antonio history and the commitment to protecting our waterways. One of the highlights of the day was watching the locking dam of the San Antonio River operate. Seeing engineering solve real environmental challenges while right in front of us is something I'll never forget. I spent the morning of the day two learning from the Sarah engineering team and the many careers that work together on community projects.
The day ended with a planning meeting for improvement to Hendrick Arnold Nature Park. Today, I had the opportunity to accompany the Sarah engineering team to an event at UTSA Downtown College of Architecture and Planning. Here we joined architects, engineers, city planners, and community leaders to learn about the vision and the future of San Antonio Arboretum. One of the highlights was hearing from former San Antonio Mayor and HUD Secretary Henry Cisneros discussing the importance of long-term planning and community partnership. That afternoon, we toured the Sarah Laboratory, where we learned how scientists monitor water quality, analyze environmental data, and provide the information engineers use to make informed decisions. Seeing that close partnership between scientists and engineers gave me an even greater appreciation for the teamwork required to protect our waterways. I was especially impressed by the emphasis on laboratory safety. It reminded me so much of the safety procedures I teach my own engineering students in our Maker Lab. Whether you're working on scientific instruments or engineering tools, safety is always the first step to success in a learning environment. After a severe weather delay, we explored Hendrick Arnold Nature Park. The recent rainfall allowed us to observe the creek at a higher flow than normal and discuss future improvements, including a natural playground, a new creek access stairs built by HEB volunteers. It was exciting to see engineering, conservation, and community coming together in one project. After walking the park and hearing about the future plans, it inspired me to completely redesign my fall project-based learning unit. The greatest impact of this externship won't be measured by what I've learned this week. It will be measured by hundreds of students whose futures are inspired because of it. Every lesson I teach, every engineering challenge my students complete, and every future engineer or environmental scientist who discovered their passion because of an experience will be part of Sarah's lasting legacy. Thank you for investing in not only teachers, but for the next generations of inventors, problem solvers, and community leaders.
Fantastic. Great job, Angel. That really captures your experience. I want to go ahead and show Mary's, and then I'm going to go to Emily Rue if you're there, or someone from San Antonio River Authority for reaction.
Hi, my name is Mary Rodriguez, and I want to start off by saying thank you to San Antonio River Authority for allowing me to participate in this externship. The experience was invaluable, and I love that I got to collect water samples with scientists. I got to go into the lab and prepare those samples and then read data. I also got to tag a couple of mussels. What I saw at San Antonio River Authority was many people collaborating for a meaningful goal. And that's what I want to take back to my classroom. So students during labs are going to be assigned different roles, doing the experiment, collecting the data, analyzing it, and then translating that data into something meaningful, just like San Antonio River Authority. So thank you, IDRA and Sarah again. And I look forward to bringing back those real world experiences to my students this year. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to pass it to Angel. Did you want to add something? You came off mute. Oh, okay. I'm going to actually pass it to Emily Rue, if you don't mind, or someone from San Antonio River Authority. I would love for you to share your initial thoughts of the teacher's reflections, and to, share out also, what was your experience like on the employer side? What was something that you found joy or found surprising to have an educator embedded within your team at San Antonio River Authority? I'm not sure if can we give Emily Rue permission to talk? I don't know how the webinar works.
Hello.
Hi, putting you on the spot, but I want your initial takeaway because you haven't seen that yet.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, making me a little bit misty-eyed. That was so awesome. I'm not surprised though. Angel and Mary, we're just so lucky to have you and to work with y'all this summer. We learned so much from you. I would say like the learning was both ways for sure. We were able to learn a lot about, I think one of the most important things is that like we need to keep up with what's relevant to students in the classroom, because we're in informal education and I'm one of the education coordinators. I don't know if I put that in the chat. And so to know what is going to be the most impactful and relevant, because y'all are the ones who are in the classrooms with the kids every day, is so important for us to know, how we can like be part of that bridge, like you're talking about, Dr. Garcia. So just so happy, and definitely a lot of takeaways that we have and that we can use to improve our own programming, and form these partnerships that will hopefully, keep continuing past this point too. So thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, IDRA and DoD STEM. This is our second year participating in this program, and it's just everything about it is so wonderful. And yeah, I think the other thing I wanted to say is that, yeah, we just hope everyone has a good start to the school year. We do have programming opportunities, field trips, and such with the River Authority. So I think we're going to be releasing that form in August. So if anyone on here is interested in getting involved with us, please reach out. And yeah, that's what I got. This was just great. Thank you.
We're so appreciative of your partnership, and I just love seeing the pictures from this externship. Sometimes our teachers are knee deep in a river collecting water samples. Sometimes they're in the lab. Sometimes they're with engineers out in the field. It's just fabulous experiences. So thankful for our partnership with Sarah. Thank you, Emily. Appreciate all the hard work you put into it to design a great experience for our externs.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll share in the kind of aftermath of this webinar some links to some of the really great lesson plans that were part of it. We've got a full PBL packet that we've got from Angel over at JSTEM. And remember, she's at the middle school level. And what was great was she was paired with a high school teacher, Mary Rodriguez, and she's got an advanced chemistry class. So her lesson plan was based off of what she's teaching. So as you can see, we want them to create something that is real and relevant for them, something that's practical, something that's useful for them as a result of the externship. Okay, I'm gonna have to somehow talk lightning fast to go, so bear with me. But we highlighted Sarah, San Antonio River Authority. Now we're gonna go to Garver. Before I lose, let me see who's still here. June's still here. Is let's see, Mary Lou still here? I don't know if she had to leave. She may have had to leave. But we'll go ahead and highlight our placement at Garver. So if June, if you want to quickly share your reflection, and I'll pull up your, I think you had a few slides and things that you developed as part of your externship capstone project. So while I flip through the slides, can you just like in 1 minute do a share out of your experience at Garver and what your main takeaways were?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so Garver was the first that I've known about an engineering firm. So at my site visit, I got to visit with each department, and got to hear about what their specific role is and their responsibilities are, on the business side, as well as just overall what they do. And for me, my biggest takeaway as a CTE teacher, is not only showing the students about employability skills, making them a good employee, regardless of what they decide to study after they graduate high school, if that means going to a trade school, going to a college or university, or joining the military or the workforce. We're preparing them for those skills to make them a good employee, a good student, a good coworker. And what I got out of the externship, for me, is using a project-based learning lesson plan where I'm incorporating what I learned from Garver into a career exploration project for my students, to help them understand what kind of careers they could go into or departments, what kind of position would they be a good fit for the company. So my plan is in the fall is to show them this PowerPoint that I made from Garver, to introduce them to the different careers. What are they interested in? What are their skills? What are their future goals? And take a business that they're going to research or a company that they want to work for someday and create a presentation to either our class or to our campus or even our industry partners. And then build off of that project in the spring semester on professionalism and ethics. And now build off of that prior project to help them now become a professional, become employable, so that they're best prepared for success in their future careers.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Well, you put so much hard work into this. I love the various ways teachers are leveraging project-based learning into their classrooms from their externship project. It's just really fantastic to see how it teaches the knowledge and skills, the essential knowledge and skills. But again, it teaches, like if you look at the TEA, the STEM frameworks in Texas, it's teaching those STEM fluency skills are equally important, right? And you can go take a deep dive into that. It's really important to know that. But these are very good transferable, good life skills, career readiness skills that our teachers are embedding throughout their units, which is so important. Um, I don't think we have Mary Lou, but I just wanted to highlight um, that Mary Lou also, let's see, oh, I was there already. She created a slide deck as well of really having the engineering and mathematics integration into her classroom and embedding that back into her classroom as a math teacher, as an algebra teacher. She's like, wow, my biggest takeaway is it's not just math. She saw the need for her students to have those soft skills, those employability skills, right? And that's so important for her to teach not just the content, right? But like we just said, like those STEM fluency skills, those power skills that are needed for any workplace that they're going into. And she was trying to find creative ways to embed that in her math classroom. And so she had fantastic ways of learning from the engineers, learning from the experiences of the staff members she got to know from Garver and figuring out like, wow, all of their pathways were so different. But still, what's equally a common thread and theme is that my students need to have these employability skills, so that no matter what pathway they get into, that might lead into engineering, might lead into other pathways, they need to have those strong skills. And so she did a fantastic job embedding that into her classroom through her capstone project. And I think Marianne is here from Garver. Strictness, if you want to go ahead and come off mute and just share your reflection as our industry partner. You put so much love into designing this externship program and having such a memorable experience. I'd love to know your takeaway from your experience as the industry side and your perspective, but also what your externs came up with as a result of their experience with you and their time with you.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this presentation. I'm just thrilled to see that Garver was able to make such a good influence on both Mary Lou and June. And I'm looking forward to doing this again next year, next summer. Garver is an engineering firm that is based in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we have 61 offices in 21 states. And so for San Antonio to be a part of this program is a first stepping stone, I would like to say, for other offices to possibly follow so that we can bridge that gap between students and engineering and what they expect of it. I was really happy to host both the teacher externs, and I think we allowed them to be part of our family. And I don't want to say allow, but we invited them to be part of our family, and I think that was a really great way to show all of our business team leaders who we are and what we do. That included aviation, transportation, water, field services, bridge and buildings, finance, and of course, myself as managing the office. So great job, ladies, and I hope that we can continue this partnership next summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, So much love there at Garver. Fantastic national company to see the work that they're doing locally too. Every highway, every water system, every big transportation project. It's so great to meet the people behind the scenes doing the fantastic infrastructure work that we need in our city. I'm going to move on to Cox Manufacturing. I think Sean maybe had to leave. I don't
All right, we're gonna find a stopping point. We'll
list, but we're going to go ahead and highlight Cox Manufacturing here and see. I think Maria Luisa had to go back to class, but I still see Raquel. Raquel, would you like to come off mute and show off your capstone project really briefly, just a 1 minute recap as we close up? We'll wrap up with you and Martha and Deandra.
Sure, no problem. So I do a manufacturing production unit with my third, fourth, and fifth grade students. So entering into the field, it was my knowledge was kind of very basic. They had a product, we made it, we kind of looked at how it was. But going to Cox Manufacturing kind of solidified all the pieces that really it took, the type of collaboration that they had to do, the problem solving, the planning piece. It all made sense. Some of the tools that they had, like we would use in class, and it kind of clicked for me, like that's what I was supposed to do with it, or that's how they needed to see it. So it really did kind of relate the hands-on that I gave my kids, but now I'm able to really focus it and direct it more to a real world experience. I kind of was just taking what I thought it would be or what I thought it would look like. And now that I have the understanding of like being a quality control analyst and making their diagrams, how much they tested, all of the input that every department has, it wasn't just a one and done. So I definitely think that will help in my curriculum this year for me to understand laying the foundation for the students, but also letting them know there are multiple industries within inside of there, not just the people who made it, but the building, the tech, the people who actually created it, the innovators, some of the tools Cox Manufacturing made themselves. Like the company as a whole really was just very mind blowing to see all of the things that they do, how much they have together, all of the pieces that they really have put forth into their industry and their business side. And it is very much a family oriented business. So it was really cool to see all of those aspects of it and how I can now take that into my students and show them that this is something right here in our hometown, that if they have the interest for it, that there is a space and availability for it. And their company also has a lot of enrichment within their own employees, like internships for them, different type of opportunities for them to continue their growth, their education, and to continue their career.
Oh, wonderful summary of the experience. Very family oriented there as well. Absolutely. And the way that they have their own, like, grow your own programs at Cox
Yes.
Manufacturing was definitely something I just loved. I love seeing the investment they had in their employees and training them up to be engineers and having that all within their workplace. It's just outstanding. So fantastic job with your lesson. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank
I know we're coming up at time and we still have two more quick presentations from Martha. If you're still here, let me see. Is Martha still here? Yeah. Let me pull up yours, Martha. Switching gears to Elevate Systems, we've got your lesson plan. If you want to do just a quick 1 minute recap, that way Deandra has time and I'll have 1 minute to close. Do you want to go ahead, Martha, and share out what you created for your capstone?
Yeah, so we did a design and programming scaled of 3D models. So we had students work through different processes. As I mentioned before, my expertise is or where I'm positioned is in college and career readiness, and Deandra was in had more coding background. So we wanted to merge those two, and we focused the most on reverse engineering and having students understanding what that is and how they can problem solve into creating a part that's needed. And that's what the company itself does is reverse engineering. So we took a little bit of what they all did, what they specialize in, what we could collaborate on, and we feel would best grab the attention of our students, um, and having them lead into a higher level. So we did 3 different levels, and at the end, if they made it to there, they could essentially 3D print that model. It was a great experience there at Elevate Systems. They have an outstanding program. Their owners truthfully believe, wholeheartedly believe in collaborating with local educators and internships and just investing in the future for their company, their community, and their the school system itself, their educators. It's just outstanding what they do there. As you mentioned earlier, they had interns there. They had quite a number of them, and to seeing their eyes light up when they show up and just to problem solve. And those skills that they build there, I mean, problem solving before they enter the work field is really outstanding.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. Incredible workplace. Deandra, you want to add anything? You were paired up with Martha at Elevate Systems. You care to share anything extra that she hasn't mentioned yet?
Yes, ma'am. And so I agree with everything she said. And in addition, I appreciated being able to be at Elevate Systems, which is an engineering firm. And, we were able to come up with a project that takes those engineering principles and allows us to apply them in game design. So the artifact that we created in engineering, we're also able to convert into a model that can be used in a video game. And then also with the 3D printing that we can do in class, so you can actually see the designs that you're using in your game and in engineering. So it's something that we can bring back to the classroom and actually implement, and it merges it cross-disciplinary and allows our students to see that even though it's game design or mobile and web app development, you can still apply these skills in different fields. Your computer science skills will be widely used across industries.
Wow, I love the connections that you two made together. What a great way to complement each other in your subject matters that you teach. Fantastic. I love how you were able to incorporate game design, something that's very relevant for you, and what you're teaching there at Wagner. Thank you so much. I hope that everybody got to really understand, again, the the main aspect, which I'll leave it here, is that externships are the bridge. Externs are the teachers. They're seeing their work. They're observing actual STEM professionals and workflows in today's careers. They're understanding problems. They're seeing how professionals are using STEM knowledge to solve authentic challenges. They're seeing the skills needed behind the job, collaboration, communication, iteration, and so on. And they're discovering pathways. They're learning about the jobs, but also from the staff members they're meeting, the educational pathways and career pathways for that position, for that person before they even got to that position, because it's not always a linear path, right? And it's really interesting to learn from people's stories. And so I really hope that today, again, that you were able to learn a little bit more about externships and how important they are as a professional development model to embed career connected learning back in the classroom. And I would be remiss if I don't want to miss this. I want to say that although the DSEC, grant funding has ended, we want to continue this externship program, and it's going to require new partners and new investments. So please, if you're, a company, a foundation, organization, or leader who believes that students deserve these meaningful connections to STEM careers, we invite you to help us to continue this work. Invest in an educator externship, sponsor a cohort, become a workplace partner, connect with IDRA and other organizations that want to strengthen the STEM talent pipeline in San Antonio. We've built the bridge, and now we're just looking for partners who will help keep us keep that bridge open for the next generation of externs and educators and students. So please come, get in contact with me if you have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and put my email on the screen. I would love for you to connect with us. It's just stephanie.garcia@idra.org. Thank you again for joining and for staying with us throughout this webinar. And I look forward to connecting with you all. And happy back to school to all of our externs. Thank you so much for spending your summer with us. We appreciate it. And that concludes the webinar. You all have a great rest of your day. And thank you again for joining us.